The two Midwest guys spoiled each other there, I think.
Taken by Ron Evans, he handballs over to Mark Williams. He's got a bit of time there.
Keep that beard, Ronnie. It's a few wild days back then, wasn't it?
A wild man from Borneo there.
He drives it down to the wing. Nice mark there by Ron Evans. Just judged it a little bit better.
One of my favourite players of all time.
Yeah, Ronnie's a good lad.
Because he was just so hard at it.
Yeah.
He usually came off the ground with blood dripping from his face.
Lincoln Dudley gets the ball, though, comes back onto the ball, kicks it straight on. Good mark there taken by Ronnie Evans. Ronnie Evans goes down, kicks it on his left leg.
On the left, Ronnie.
I was going to say, I had to.
And he was a likeable character, a quiet character. I'll never forget Sandy, his partner, and she's still together.
Yeah.
Love to
She's
see
terrific.
Yeah.
No, he's one of the greats.
Ronnie Evans, really good friend of mine, Ronnie, and his father's a legend at the footy club too. You know, one of my favourite trainers over the years, I reckon, at the football club. Yep. But Ron at centre half back, again, like Poison, I played a lot of footy next to Ron on the half back flank before I went back to full back. A brilliant footballer, Ron. Read the ball well, strong, took an excellent flying mark and rebounded the football extremely well off the half back line. Good lad.
And Jonathan, they're going no distance, just straight through. This time it goes straight down the centre of the ground. Ronnie Evans with a top mark, straight over the top of a pack with a mighty mark. Gets up quick, kicks it straight on.
So tell us, Steve, about Ron Evans.
It's a pretty impressive resume, so I think I'm right, just jump in and correct me if I'm wrong at any time, but you commenced your career in 1984, you played at 2001, played over 200 games, you kicked 9 goals.
Hey,
pretty good for a
Who said I couldn't? I played all my Colts as a forward.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it wasn't until A grade when I went into the back lines.
Yeah. Yeah, also, you know, most of your senior football you play at centre half back or on the half back line somewhere.
Yep.
Where the number 16 Guernsey, was that the case for the whole of your career, or pretty much when you jumped into 16? Most improved player in 1986, best finals player in 1989, club's most consistent player in 92, 94 and 96.
Long handball down to the centre of the ground. Kicked off the ground by Mallee Park, but taken back there by Ron Evans, who took an uncontested mark. He goes for a short pass. He looks for Casanova.
Best team man in 1999, club best and fairest in 97 and 98, and runner-up in 86 and 95. Premiership player obviously in 1992.
Ronnie Evans, what a campaigner! This next bloke's not the prettiest in our side at the moment, but by hell, he put in everything for us today.
You were appointed the A-grade coach in 2008, and you were awarded Tasman Football Club Life membership in 2011. Morlock Shield rep for Lincoln City in 1990, 95, 97 as captain, and in 2000.
Kicks it out to the outer side to Ron Evans. He doesn't let him down. Handballs quickly on to Darren Miller, who just does a short chip down to Tim Blewett. And who does a banana bender. Yeah, they really are outclassing this side at the moment. There's not much they can do. Umpire Blewett sends the ball down again.
Adamson's put down a really good bounce. Keane gets quite a good tap. It's
Ronnie Evans gets it out.
Phil Nichols is trying in the bottom of the pack there, and the umpy's going to have another bounce.
Ron Williams fighting hard there as he has all day.
Represented Port Lincoln versus Great Flinders in 1990. You voted Port Lincoln Football League's best team man in 99 and 98. And voted Port Lincoln best opposition player in 98. I think that was votes by the opposition coaches.
Yeah. And Jonathan, they're going no distance, just straight through. This time it goes straight down the centre of the ground. Ronnie Evans with
what a grab!
Straight over the top of a pack with a mighty mark. Gets up quick.
I'm glad you got that one. I was probably the only one.
And of course, you're a Port Lincoln League Life. You've received Port Lincoln Life membership. So. Pretty good resume there, Ronnie. And just tracking back before your senior career, I think you started maybe playing under 11s for the club in about 1978, or was there an under 9s back then, or?
No, it was about under 11s, I think.
So about under 11s. It's about the timeline, 78. You play alongside the likes of Craig Matner and Grant Wiebeck, who become pretty good friends of yours.
Yeah.
Looking for Pickett. The ball hits the ground. Pickett goes through for the ball. Oh, there was a real body clash there, but Bomber Hamilton still going for it. It's picked up by Marcus Little. He's pushed off the ball. The ball's still on the ground. The ball's been pushed out. Picked off by Ronnie Evans. Ronnie Evans comes around the pack with it, with a long handball. Finds Nisbet.
So how did you come to play for the Tasman Footy Club?
Well, it was quite funny actually. I was because my dad played for South.
Right.
Yeah, and Dad was a prawn fisherman, and we were going to St Joe's, and like Craig Matner was there, and a few of the boys were all playing for Tasmans, and it used to be there. It was sort of Waybacks and Tasmans sort of things. You know, you go and kick the ball at half, recess or lunchtime and that, and you play a bit of footy and carry on, and it's always a bit of fun and games until someone got hurt.
Yeah.
Ronnie Evans in front takes a good mark in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, well, it just seemed to be more of those, and like the high school had a few of the other teams in it as well, sort of thing. But it was generally Waybacks and Tasmans there. And Dad come home from fishing one day, because back then they used to prawn all year round.
Yep.
And only come home on the moon. And so we sat down, me and my brother, and said, "Oh, we don't want to play for South. We want to go to Tasmans." And he said, "Oh, well, okay." And that was the.
I'm pretty sure Tasmans are pretty happy with that decision.
And he went too.
Yeah.
Yep.
He,
You talk about Craig Matner there, and I just want a moment reflect on Craig. And obviously the 1988 male medalist retired at the age of 21 due to a serious knee injury. It was not only a huge blow personally for Craig, but also a massive loss for the Tasman Football Club. He was just a captain of the club, a leader of men. What's your thoughts on that? It was a pretty sad ending to a pretty magnificent career at the age of 21 already.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was pretty devastating, really. Like, because back then you did a knee, there was no fixing it really.
Yeah.
You struggled with it, and the guy was just super fit. He was just a ball of muscle.
Hardest trainer. Did extra work.
Yeah.
What did you say? He was 21.
21. Yep.
Yeah. And
actually, I thought it was a bit older than that when it happened. But yeah, geez.
And already achieved so much. And and I know it's hard for Craig too, because he almost stopped coming to the club because people saying, "Oh, Craig, when are you coming back? You're going to play next year." And he knew that he wasn't going to play again, so he just. He stopped coming to the club basically, I think, because of that, which is very sad. In season 1981, and look, this is probably testing your memory because you're still pretty young. Season 1981, the club would face a huge challenge with the formation of Mallee Park, which was a result of the deregistration of the Tumby Bay Football Club, who joined the Great Flinders Football League. The product of this was a loss of dozens of the club's Indigenous players to the newly formed side, Mallee Park. I presume you were playing in the under-15s at the time. Any recollections of this period, and what sort of effect had on the club to lose at least a quarter of their players?
Oh, we had a lot of those guys.
Probably more than any other club in the league.
Yeah. 43, I believe.
43.
Clearances, yep. Sorry, go
on. Just being as a kid, you're at the club, and it was everyone just mingled. It didn't matter. There was no bias or anything like that. It was, you're playing for the club, and everyone just got on so well, and then all of a sudden, we're gone. Sort of thing, it was, everyone sort of sitting around scratching their head and sort of, we get over it. And,
but you not only lose, personnel, like some of the guys that left to play for Mallee Park, you're talking the Burgoynes and the Millers and the Davies,
and the John Cocks.
The John Cocks, and just household names of Port Lincoln, and so you lose some, and consequently, like Tasman's probably struggled for a few years to regain, probably the mid-80s until they, got back up higher on the ladder. So.
Yeah, well, it was, there's well, we got there in '86, but that was that was a bad year as well. So,
yeah, we'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
Whilst I don't have a date on your A grade debut, I'm guessing it would have been sometime in '84. You might know. I think you played a few reserves games in '83. So do you know exactly when you did make your debut? Because I can't find any record of it. That's all.
No. I played an under-17 captain of flag in my last year there. So
yeah, well, you don't have a recollection of it. Yeah, you mentioned '84. You were the captain of the under-17 sides and win the premiership. That must have been a pretty special moment, and even made better by the fact that you were named best on ground. So
yeah, no, it was a pretty good day. yeah.
In 1984, Tasman.
So where did you play?
Sorry,
centre forward.
Centre forward that day.
Yeah, right.
Must have bagged a few goals.
Yeah.
Why did you end up being a backman? Was your kicking not so good, or you just?
Well, no, you know my kicking was never good.
Sean Humby. Sean kicks to the goal square, but it's all Lincoln City there.
Yeah, ball taken
3
by
players
Jason
there.
O'Brien there.
He should take a bounce, or any handballs over the top.
Handball to Craig Akehurst. He handballs back to Ron Evans. Now he drives down to the wing area, down to Shane Mason. He's got a bit of room.
But I don't know.
It's probably where you first get an opportunity. There's a position to fill a vacancy in the A grade, so we'll put him there, and you excel. And
yeah, well, I think Bart's was coaching when I first went back up when I went into the A grade. And
Graham Barton, yep.
Yeah, and I don't know whether he could see something.
The ball's picked up by Evans. Evans hands balls. Now it's front down by Reynolds Road.
You know, and we had a fairly strong forward line anyway back then, which
Butch Pedler's on the scene, and probably Stephen Slade a bit later, and
so it was. I don't know. It's probably a blessing in disguise. I think that.
Well, turned out right, didn't it?
Put me back there, and
1980.
Some of the guys that we had back there were very good teachers as well, like Johnny Hart and Frenchie and those guys. Take you under your wing. They're always talking to you where you need to be and stuff like that. And it was
great mentors. In 1984, Tasman's finished in 4th position, but they lose to Boston's in the elimination final. And in 1985, you finish 5th spot, only winning 5 of your 18 matches. So. In 1986, on the back of some great recruiting, you finished minor premiers, only to be beaten by Boston's in the grand final by 3 points.
In the possession, the handball well smothered by Buckland. He's playing well, Buckland. The handball back towards the centre of the ground. The big tap on by Hayden Davey gives Milky Saunders the run. Milky Saunders a breakthrough half forward, looking for his brother in Ringo, but a well-timed mark. A beautiful, well-judged mark by young Evans for Tasmans. He's got...
Ronnie looks young there.
He's
got the mullet going.
Yeah.
Incidentally, Boston's came from 4th position and won all 3 of their finals matches by under a goal. What was the feeling after that grand final loss? You probably go in favourites, and you probably let one slip there.
Oh, we were favourites. It was pretty hard to take. I mean, you never. Go into one thinking, you know, it's yours for the taking. You just go out there and you win it, sort of thing. You know, they're always hard to get when you get a chance at it.
Yep.
But you know, credit to them. It was a hard slog. It was a pretty crappy day. And you know, take nothing away from Boston whatsoever, but it sort of played into the way they style of footy, sort of thing. We like to run the ball and move it quickly, but it just didn't happen on that day.
He goes now out to the outer side flank, looking for Ray Wollaston, finds that player, and he's off quickly now. Chips the ball in towards Kenny Davey, met by Shannon, well met by Shannon. He's tackled high, play on's the call. Kicked off the ground by Barry. Slade, back to Slade again. He's handballs it out to Boyce. Boyce turns. Kicks back to Steele Seaman, and it's good mark.
The forward lines were struggling to kick goals, and back lines we were.
And inaccuracy played a part too. Probably kicking.
Yeah.
Memory about 16 points, so that didn't help.
Yeah, and you know, probably I don't know. I mean, my first sort of A grade, sort of coming into something like that, and the mood in the change rooms it was a bit different than, you know, I didn't know how, you know, as a young lad, you know, there was music playing and stuff like that, and you're thinking, well, that's a bit different sort of thing, you know, you want to concentrate and...
Probably a little bit too relaxed.
Yeah, just, you know, you're going in as favourites, and, you know, the expectations are pretty high and stuff like that, and the club, you know, and hadn't won one for a while, so yeah, it was just a strange sort of feeling, and then to come out at the, you know, to have lost it in the end, but not much, and you just, you know, it's just gut wrenching, really.
Yeah.
But I mean, you build from that anyway. It makes you more of a person at the end of it.
True.
Makes you a little bit hungrier anyway. So.
Yeah. You may have been forgiven for thinking that you'd never taste premiership success, given that in the next 2 seasons you lose back-to-back grand finals to Mallee Park in '87 and '88.
Yeah.
That would have been pretty tough to take as well, but they were a very dominant team by then, and
that was the peak of their greatness.
Yeah, they were a machine.
Well, that first one that we played them, I think that was 14 points or something. I think.
Yeah, that was a close game. Yep.
That was, and that was about 28 degrees or something.
Hot
in
one.
September. It was stinking hot.
Yep.
And you know, by the time the last siren went, just about every player fell on the ground, just exhausted.
Right.
It was just, it was a great game of footy. It was fast. It was you know, what you'd expect of a final. But unfortunately, we couldn't replicate that the next year. We got absolutely belted.
Yeah, I think it was about like a 14 or 15 goal margin. And
yeah.
I think Tasman's probably kicked 14 or 15 goals, but it would win most grand finals, but not against Mallee Park, though. They just kicked more goals than you.
Yeah.
After defeating Marlborough Range in the 89 first semi-final, Tasmans were favoured to defeat Lincoln South in the prelim final, but after a fast start, the Roosters... by the Roosters, the Eagles come out on top by 19 points. The only highlight was your best on-ground performance across half-back, Ronnie, so well done. Another wasted year as it turned out. However, Dickie Clements did provide some joy around the club by being awarded the first of back-to-back male medals on the Sunday after loss to South. So,
just quickly on that, anything to say about Dickie Clements?
Oh, he was a freak. Yeah, he was, you know, hard to catch, and his aerial skills were just amazing. Like, he could just take a hanger over, you know, you wouldn't even think he was going to get there.
And then when he landed, he'd just take off.
Like a cat.
Yeah, like a cat.
Yeah, so I was only 10 or 11 when he was playing, but I've played with both his lads, and they were the exact same. Like, and obviously Geordie was at Marlborough Range.
The umpire calls for the ball, and now he will throw it in the air, and it's Schreiber back in there again against Heyman. Heyman wins the tap down, but it's nicely handballed, and bursting away from the pack is Jordan Clements. Gets the kick forward, can't get a clean mark. Well followed up by Jordan Clements. Tynan Keeley around the body looking for...
You just see, like, visions I've seen of Dick is very similar to the way they move. Like, the hips, I think, was the strong part of his game.
And elusively quick as well. You know, he walks his way around packs and stuff like that. Like
Lewis across to Easton on his left leg to Casanova, who tries to take a one-handed mark, to Clements to try to take a one-handed mark. He gets back on his right leg, kicks it in deep, where a good mark's taken.
It was really good, you know, being in the back line, watching it all happen and stuff like that.
Doesn't hold the ball, hits the ground. Picked up by Roger Johncock. Straight back through the pack again. Little tries to get the ball, and this time it's a free kick to Tasmans. Will go to Dean Montgomery, who was interfered with by Pickett. Goes back for his kick. Kicks it down to the centre of the ground to Weebricks. Weebricks up and high, and a good mark to Weebrick. He goes back for his kick, and he's taken a good high mark. He now goes for a pass through. Oh, come unstuck. It's picked up by Louis on his left leg. Handballs across. Picked up by Milton again. Milton straight down the middle of the ground and kicks it to Dickie Clements, who takes the mark at the centre half forward position. Went to have a kick, but now he's gone back for his kick. And he goes for a short kick past to Prime, and Prime has marked the ball. Mallee Park supporters not real happy with that, but it was definitely a mark. Once again, distance won't be a problem. Oh, now the pressure's on. Pressure's on Prime now. He lines it up. Goes for the kick. The accuracy is there, and he's kicked the goal. And that's a very neat goal by Tasmans.
Yeah.
Well, it was, yeah.
Just an awesome player.
Yeah, yeah.
Before I go on, to this point in your career, you have played under just two senior coaches, Graham Barton and Leo Montgomery. Tell me a little bit about both of these men and their, probably different coaches, but you would have gained a little bit out of both, and you went on to coach yourself, so you might have gained a bit from their coaching.
Bart's was, he was a policeman down here, or detective, I think he was.
Yep.
He was a hard man, but fair.
Yep.
You didn't train, you didn't play. Fair enough. So,
in front is Normie Pickett, not taken by that player. Dickie Clements comes out of it with it. He kicks it. It's blocked real well. Steve Milton goes through well. Coldwell goes through. Picked up by Nisbet. Nisbet still trying to pick it up. Handball's back to Twiggy. Twiggy handballs on to Milton. Steve Milton's now got the ball. Goes back under his right leg. Runs around again. Kicks down to the centre of the ground. Picked up by Jack Johncock. Johncock hands balls to Mallee Park. Mallee Park goes on to Tim Carbony. Carbony runs around the player. Goes on to his rough left leg. Ronnie Evans gets the ball in front of him. Goes straight through. Handball's on now. Picked up by Sargent. Sargent with a pass. Passes the ball real well and finds McLeod. McLeod with a handball to Paul Casanova.
We all, and back then, we played out at Stanford back then, and, training nights, the oval was just full of players. You had to earn your spot, which was good, and you got the best out of you. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll just digress there before you go on. I remember my brother telling a story, because I wasn't at Tasmans at the time, but there was one occasion where Brenton Hargie, always a bit of a funny man, as we know, and Bart's has told, I think you're over the eastern side of Stanford Oval, and he directed you got to run to the other side wing and do not stop. And so Hargs jumped the fence and went off into the scrub. But it was a bit of a prankster, the Hargs. But and Leo Montgomery.
Yeah, no, he also had some, toughness about him. He was also a good player himself. So
yeah.
Paul Casanova will take the kick. Kicks it, puts it in high to Prime. They all aim for it. It comes down off ground. Nesbitt picked up by Rudd. Rudd miss handballs. Picked it up again. Gives it across to... Now it's picked up by Stephen Milton, who hooks a goal. Well played, Stephen Milton.
They sort of had two different ways of coaching. Butts was fairly strict on what he wanted, and he told you, but Leo, he sort of got around it and told you in a different way, sort of thing. He was a bit more talkative to you instead of at you, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And
more individual than group.
Yeah.
Picked up by Michael Casanova. Michael on his left handballs across goes back to Steve Milton, does a turn, back to Wheatbrick. Wheatbrick with a left foot kick, he's just come on, it's gone right down to the forward line where it's marked by Prime, and Prime makes no mistakes and kicks it right out over the trees. And that was a very quick reply from Tasmans and a good goal.
He was really nice. Well, they're both nice guys,
Yeah.
Yeah. You got a lot of respect for them and stuff like that. And but yeah, they did get the best out of the footballers that they had. So they had some special talents themselves. So
yeah, definitely. You didn't play a lot of rep footy for one reason or another, but like myself, you must surely remember May 19th, 1990, when Port Lincoln annihilated Great Flinders by 27 goals.
Yep.
I think, Derek, you covered that game as
in the paper. Yep.
In the paper as journalist for the Port Lincoln Times.
Yeah, that was a ripper. That was.
And you write, revenge, history's most potent drug, was the driving force behind Port Lincoln's comprehensive 27-goal victory over Great Flinders on Saturday. About Ronnie, you comment, Peter Beard, an EP representative last year, was well held at centre-half forward by Ronnie Evans and was later changed into the centre. You also add that the ball rarely got past Carr, which is David Boxer Carr, Evans and Clements. it was a very talented side, and although Great Flinders argued that they were missing many of their best players, they still had at least 7 male medalists in the team. Robert Jakamara kicked 11 goals, and our Tasman teammate Chris Tractor Prime booted 8. Any recollections of that game, Ronnie?
Oh, yeah. No, it was a great game. Yeah, it's always good to go up there, and I suppose you wouldn't call them the enemy, but in enemy territory sort of thing. It was at the company's main oval there, and yeah, it was a fast game to start with, and actually got told off by the coach for being
which was Kim Clark,
aggressive. Yeah, without trying to take too many marks instead of punching the ball and stuff like that, and which you're supposed to do as a backman sort of thing. But yeah, but everyone was on that day.
Yeah,
you know, it was a good wide oval, good space to run into, and yeah, and like you got Jakamara up forward. Well, yeah, he's pretty handy, isn't he?
Yeah,
he was pretty.
It was
awesome.
like having Jesus at full forward and Moses in the pocket, wasn't it? Really, it was just amazing. 19 goals between the two of them. So,
well, did you ever play on Jakamara?
I did a couple of times. Spinner mainly got the job on that, but
and did a great job.
But it's always trying to cut off the runs if I could to try and help him out.
Before I got there.
Some of the time we'd have 2 or 3 guys trying to look after him, but he just steps around you. For a guy that was, I don't know, 6'2", 6'3", big guy,
big shoulders,
so agile. And I think there was one footage where I can't remember. I think it was way back he played. He stepped around 3 guys. He was in the forward pocket and just stepped around the 3 of them and kicked a goal. And you think, well, but you couldn't move him. He was such a big guy. And, you know, well, lucky we had Bob Reynolds Rowe too.
Yeah.
Just comes over the top. And
all elbows. And
yeah.
Goes after the ball. He's got the ball. The Tasman players couldn't get there in time. Ronnie Evans comes through, puts his foot to the ball, kicks it out off the ground. The ball comes down, picked up by Dudley once, David Dudley. Kicks the ball down, wasn't marked, dropped on the ground. Ronnie Evans not Ronnie Evans, David Rowe picks it up. Picked up by Phil Stanley. Cross to Bob Reynolds Rowe. Reynolds Rowe dodges around a player, kicks the ball high. The player set himself. Tony Lewis gets in front, and a real good mark to Tony Lewis. Tony's looking well, he kicks it up the ball, kicks it up high, looking for the coach. Figgett comes down.
But something I remember Jakamara doing, just observing, is that he would go fast and then slow down a little bit when he was leading and then go fast again. He had those little tricks to throw the defender off.
Yeah. Some of the things, because you're sort of worried where he is, but you're not actually watching the ball until right to the end. And if he slows down, you think, oh, hang on, I should be doing something here, and then he takes off again, and he has some tricks like that that sort of catches you out and that sort of stuff. And it didn't matter where you pushed him. Like we were trying to always to get him to the boundary line, but he'd just kick him from the boundary line anyway. So
true story.
Jakamara had reach.
Out front.
Well, I was lucky enough to coach Jakamara, and I was also lucky enough to see some good footballs in Adelaide and in the old VFL. Played against a few of those guys, and he's still probably one of the best footballers I've seen. Gary Ablett, Russell Ebert, Barry Robin, because I was lucky enough to see Jakamara every night at training. It's just a shame he had an alcohol problem, and it's a shame he didn't go somewhere as football. He was unbelievable. Do you know the West Coast Eagles were going to build their side when they come into the VFL around him. He was playing in Kalgoorlie. As an 18-year-old, he kicked 250 goals.
Wow!
Yeah, he was a sensation, and he could play. And we saw him again right at the end when he was fat, and he said back in those days, he used to say I could jump in those days, but hell, he could play football.
How did we get Jakamara to South? Because he come from WA, didn't he? Or did he just come to town, or?
Yeah, no, he came
straight from WA.
Yeah, and he played a trial game up at Whyalla, and I heard about this Jakamara.
So he'd moved to town on his own esteem.
Yeah, and of course, he got sacked from the club because he hit Ralph Glass, And I then, when I come in coaching, I talked them into getting him back. And I used to be able to control him. I used to pick him up on his veranda every, before the game. I used to take him to training, I used to take him to football. And he'd always have, when I pick him up, he's had his echo. Anyway, that was bothering me. Anyway, we were out at Stanford one day and I said to him, no more drinking before the game and all that. And he didn't. I come and picked him up next week and he was not drinking. And then he kicked, I don't know, 4 or 5 goals. Next week, picked him up, wasn't drinking, only kicked a 6 or something. Following week he said to me, KC, he said, no good. He said, I'm drinking again. I couldn't do anything about it. I could never stop him. Anyway, he kicked 18. And then next week he kicked to 11, then he kicked to 12.
And Lincoln were blessed at the time because I think Jakamara, obviously tractor, Darren Rule was another. Mick Hegarty was playing full forward in his twilight of his career, and I think I got a clipping where all 3 of them have kicked, 15, 12 and 11 in the 1 week, and you just don't see those figures anymore, do you?
No.
Yeah, so fast forward a number of weeks to June 30th, we are playing Boston's at the Pool Oval and are playing very, very poorly. So bad, in fact, that we have only registered 1 goal 8 behinds, or 1 goal 8, 1 goal 8, up to half time. After a well-deserved spray from coach Leo Montgomery, we respond and appear to have the game in hand late in the last term. Can you remember what happened next, Ronnie?
Nah, got me on that one.
Well, I'll tell you.
Okay.
The coach of then Boston's was Peter Sinclair, and he ordered his players to come off the ground. So
that's right.
Yep.
We were sort of nonplussed as to, I think we did some training drills.
Yeah, we did.
In the hope that they might come back on the ground. They didn't, and Tasmans were awarded the game. We had the game in hand by then. We're going to win it, but I think he took the players off because he wasn't happy with the umpiring, and we awarded a 5-goal-to-0 win, and he was fined $500 for his misdemeanour.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so that was
the same day that Ollie Flanagan decked
Mick Blewett.
Mick Blewett.
You stole my thunder there, right?
Well, I wrote the stories at the time, so
yeah.
Yes, indeed. Ollie Flanagan was suspended for 15 years for striking field umpire Michael Blewett in the game against Waybacks at Stanford Oval. He did appeal that, and it was reduced to probably 10 years, and he did make a comeback.
He did. Played against him.
Yeah, right.
When he came back.
So,
yeah, right.
A special talent. It was a bit sad that he'd snapped that day, and he's rubbed out for that period of time because he played in that game against Great Flinders at Cummins and was one of the better players. He was a very good player.
Yeah, very good.
He was also on the 36ers list as a basketballer too.
Yeah.
Yeah, very talented. So, so that was a weird weekend actually with those 2 events happening. I can only think of one other game that was possibly crazier, and that was in 1989 against Boston's at Centenary Oval. We scored just 1 goal 1 till 3/4 time, but ended up winning the match. Can you remember that day, Ronnie? 1 goal 1 to 3/4 time.
1 goal 1 to 3/4 time. Jeez, nah.
So that's obviously when, I think that was just after Mortlock, and the oval churned up. The centre pitch there is just a mess, and probably rained that day as well. So scoring a goal was just very difficult. So that was a memorable day. Obviously not that memorable that you remember it. Later that year in round 10 versus Mallee Park, you suffer a season-ending torn ACL and a cloud hangs over your immediate footballing future. Did you realise at the time what you had done? Because from on the field and for observers off the field, it looked pretty innocuous.
Yeah, well, just some of the stories that some of the crowd had told me afterwards of where the knee went and how it sort of didn't look good. I knew it didn't look good, or didn't feel good either, but just trying to grab it and sort of hold it in like together and that sort of stuff. It's
well, this is the game you're talking about.
This is where you do your knee.
They're on the centre wing, on the bottom wing. Ball's been taken by Stephen Lewis. Stephen runs in, looks for someone with a kick. He kicks it across the middle of the ground. Oh, kicks it straight to a Mallee Park player, and Angelo Burgoyne. Angelo kicks it in. A good one-handed mark there, taken by Alban Cartinnery, who kicks it into his left foot. Hits the ground.
That's it there, right there.
Loses his body. Kicked off the ground by Hamilton.
So it was a mid-air bump.
And this time...
Oh, I actually put that landed on first.
Yeah.
Should have gone.
Landed off balance.
This time it's going to be a kick in danger by...
Yeah, wasn't the best of things.
Hamilton.
What did you actually do? Like the damage?
Oh, I ruptured the anterior cruciate.
Yeah. Full knee reco, wasn't it?
Yeah, and did the meniscus as well, and it was quite, well, it wasn't funny, but I got up to the hospital after the game, and the doctor up there says, oh, structurally it's all good, we should be right. I went, sweet, yeah, no worries. A week later, still couldn't walk properly, and yeah, so I went to see the doctor, and he said, no, it's no good.
So,
but no, you definitely know when you do them, that's for sure. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not nice. No.
No. How old were you at that stage?
90. What was I?
26 maybe?
Yeah, 26, 27. So, yeah.
Right in your prime.
Well, yeah, I had a reasonable year.
Yeah, good year. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit disappointing because I was enjoying my footy at that stage as well, so I was finding my feet pretty well. But
yep, well, I think the rehab probably took the full 12 months, but you'd end up coming back in the middle of the next year, I believe.
Yeah, I did come. I had a bit of pressure to come back a little bit early, but I sort of told him I wasn't ready yet.
Probably a good thing that your dad was a trainer.
Yeah,
gave you some good advice.
Yeah, it's one of those things that sits in your head. You know, is it going to happen again if I go back too early and stuff like that? And you don't want it to happen again, or that is it sort of thing, you know.
Yeah, no, it becomes a confidence thing, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, and you can do all the rehab you like, running around an oval and, you know, walking in the water and doing all the exercises, but, you know, when you're playing a game of footy and it's, you know, turning around in circles and getting hit from each direction, it's, you know, it is a confidence thing, and it did take a little bit to get back.
Yeah.
So Richards was a good grab by him. Handball's out. Ronnie Evans kicks it off the ground. Wallace goes in for it, gets a trip.
The thing I remember about 1990, after you did your knee, is you turned up and sat on that stool up in the back room there where the pinball was, after we won the B grade.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and led the drinking for about 2 days. Propped up on your stool. And you'd be like, by the second day, you were just about like out of it, and then suddenly you go, skull! And everyone would just have to skull. Good job.
Yeah, oh well, mascot. Couldn't do much else.
Good job.
Yeah.
Team player for sure.
No, they were good times though. Yeah.
1990 was another disappointing year from a team perspective, but as mentioned earlier, Dickie Clements wins his second male medal, and Chris Prime won the league goal kicking award with 91 goals in his first season at Tasman's. Some years later, Michael Miller was retrospectively awarded the male medal, having initially tied with Dickie in the medal count. Can you tell me a little bit about all three of these special teammates of yours, starting with Dick?
Oh, Dickie was...
as we've probably already touched on.
Yeah. He's just a country guy, you know, he's just got on with everyone, you know. He didn't like, you know, talking about himself and stuff like that. He was
modest.
Pretty humble himself, so just went and enjoyed his footy, and yeah, but very, very good at it. And obviously by winning the medals and stuff like that, you got to be pretty good. But just a really nice, genuine guy, you know.
Yep.
Even, you know, you see him now and, you know, always willing for a chat, and, you know, you used to see him at the footy, he'd come down with Muncher and that, and, you know, catch up for a beer and a chat, and, you know, you don't sort of forget those days, which is good.
Ball swung right around at the last minute then, and come back and hit the post after looking like it was going to be The kick out results in a mark to Clements. Clements handball straight across the top of the pack to Coldwell. Coldwell handballs on to Easton. Easton with a left foot kick. Looks for Miller, and it's a good pass and taken by Miller. John Cock creeping over the mark, but getting away with it. He kicks the ball in. Prime sets himself against the crowd. Terry Miller got in front of the pack. Well caught by Prime. Ball's on the ground. Players pretty scrambly at the present time. Miller comes through, didn't really have the ball and he got pulled out. Should have been a free kick to Tasmans. There was a handball by, 2 handballs now to, and that was a real good goal to Stephen Milton. That happened too quick to even work out.
Yeah, just a little sidelight for I mentioned he won the male medal that year. I'm pretty sure the count was out at Wangari. And we travelled out together. We're both a bit seedy, big night before, and we got our Tasman table at the count. And there's a young Shane Masson there that was there for probably the under-17 count. And not sure what he did the night before, but he unloaded on the table, vomited, and there's me and Dickie who are not feeling it well, as I mentioned. We've had to clean it up, and halfway through the counts, 3 votes, Dick Clements. So yeah, that was not a great day, but it was good for Dick to win that medal. What about Nugget?
Where it goes out of bounds between the wing and centre half back for Tasman. Miller goes in hard, grabs it again out of ruck, goes for a long kick, kicks it in high. Miller sets himself again. So does Arbin, and there's a good mark taken there by Gary Arbin.
Like, he's an interesting character. Great footballer.
Oh, yeah, good surfer too, apparently.
Very good surfer.
Dave Rose goes back for his kick. He's looking around the quick. He kicks it high into Miller. Miller looks for it, and a good strong mark there by Michael Miller.
Was pretty much more interested in that than playing footy. But
a great footballer.
Oh, great hands. And as a ruckman, just put it down anyone's throat. It was bloody.
Well, he could do both too. He could go the big punch and forward the ball, advance the ball 30, 40 metres, or he could
deft
up to his right. Yeah. So.
Right, handballs goes astray. Picked up by Mallee Park. Mallee Park with a short pass, but Mick McCurry intervenes there. Toss Lincoln Dudley. Lincoln Dudley gets the ball though, comes back onto the ball, kicks it straight on. Good mark there taken by Ronnie Evans. Ronnie Evans goes down, kicks it on his left leg.
And showed that in the 92 one there, he absolutely got belted by them in that first quarter. Yep. I don't know how many frees he got, but he copped a flogging.
Kobe goes in. He goes in, he kicks it long, in high. Miller gets back there, he goes up, and it's all Miller. Miller was standing there by himself. He's gone up and come down, and the Tasman players are a little bit worried about him. They've raced up to him. Tasman definitely cannot afford anything to happen to him. I think it may have been when he come down, he may have just winded himself. And there's also a 50-metre penalty. I missed what that was for. So it must have been some interference there, which I missed.
And just got up, didn't do anything, just went back, took his kicks and got us into the forward lines and set us up. Yeah, it was a mammoth game for him.
It was.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the ball's picked up by John Cock, handballed across to Dudley. Dudley handballs it across to Dodd. Nearly lost it, picks it up, goes round on his left leg, kicks the ball down to the forward line. Knocked on there by Miller. Miller's got the ball, he handballs it out. Picked out to the Tasman player, kicks it down to Wallace. Wallace kicks it out. There's all Mallee Park there, no Tasman at all. In comes Cassano. Roger Johncock gets the ball. He goes in for a long kick. The Bulls players get back under it, and it goes through for 1 point.
And lastly, Chris Prime. I mean, obviously we all know about his deeds, both on and off the field, but a special teammate to play with for sure.
Yeah, and a good friend too. When he come down, it was everyone's, Jesus, look at the size of this guy. Can he run? Or he's a big boy.
Only 19 still.
Cross out to the forward flank with the running player going through. He kicks the ball, looking for the centre back. But Ronnie Evans takes a good one-handed mark at his first attempt. Picks up the ball, goes back, looks around for leads, kicks the ball down, right straight down the middle of the ground. Three players up, and the free kick's played. The advantage is played. Picked up by Stephen Milton, and a good pass by Stephen Milton straight to Prime.
And but geez, he can kick a ball though. You know, yeah. And for a guy that size and to be that quick off the mark was just, it was incredible. Good to watch. Good to be on his side because I don't think I'd like to be standing.
Well, across to Craig McLeod. Craig McLeod with a long kick in and a good mark. Good mark taken by Prime.
He caused some headaches for opposition fullbacks for sure.
Yeah.
And very clever.
Yeah.
It wasn't all just about bulk.
No.
Knew when to lead.
Yeah.
He knew when to lead.
Yeah.
The right to just found a space, didn't he?
Yeah, and back then we did, you know, the forward lines were open for him as well. So, you know, because he can kick from 50 easy. But yeah, and such a brilliant guy off the field as well.
Life of the party, wasn't he? Like, he set the club alight. Like you want to be in his company.
Yeah. And his mum and dad were terrific people as well.
Yep.
You know, caught up with them a few times and even went up to the farm for his birthday and that.
21st, that's right.
Yeah.
There is footage of that.
On behalf of the football club, I'm sure all of the people here tonight congratulate Chris on his 21st. But Chris came to the club about 2 years ago, and myself and Huey came up signing up in this farm after we got lost like Ronnie just tonight. But Chris coming to the club like a breath of fresh air to us because he was just like the club here at the time. He was someone that everyone respected. He was a great footballer for us and a great ambassador of the club. And what more to do but thank a guy like that. And he attracts people to our club. And if he decides to stay with Port Neil next year, well, we wish him all the best. But he always knows that him and his family, that if ever he wants to play football back in Port Lincoln, he's sure welcome back at Tasman Football Club. And we wish Chris all the best.
On behalf of the committee of the Tasman Football Club, from the members and your friends. We've got together a little box of presents for you. Covers a dozen. Take it the way you will. Some reflect your personality, things you've done at the club, things you've done on the football field, Our coach, Twiggy, has a few words to say about Tractor. Twiggy?
Sitting here waiting for all these speeches to be done, and on behalf of everybody here at Tasman, we'd like to thank the Prime family for us and all of our ruling crew, and I hope they'll keep us in the same esteem they held us all year when we wake up about whatever time we get to bed tonight later on. But I'm sure we'll all behave ourselves, Cal, I promise you. No, seriously, thank you for inviting everybody. The amount of people from Tasman that have turned up and from Port Lincoln is testimony to how we hold Chris as not only a player, as part of our football club, but also as a person. Tractor likes to spin the disc, and this is on Saturday night. On the mic he's often found, but take my advice and go home fast when American Pie begins to sound. He's 21, we wish him well, and we send him out with cheer. Let's all get hammered and celebrate and drink the Wagger's beer.
A few things bleeped out, is it?
Yeah. I have actually bleeped out some things from it, actually.
Where's your Velcro? She's signing off.
Right, yeah.
But I was going to say the drink sprint would come into that.
Yeah, yeah. And
no Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Him and Weet-Bix were right into that. And Chris had this party trick that he could do a handstand. So his head's resting and he could scull a schooner. It was just How do you do that?
Yeah.
But anyway.
Special talent.
Both on and off the field.
Yeah.
Ronnie, you make a successful return to football following your knee reconstruction in 1991, and under new coach Greg Twiggy Caldwell.
I was watching last night. He was a brilliant player. He was a very, very good player.
The side makes finals again, only to be outclassed by Mallee Park in the first semi-final, surrendering a first quarter lead of 5 goals. On a brighter note, Chris Bryan creates history by becoming the first player in the Portland Football League to record 100 goals in the home and away season. He finished the year with an amazing 119 goals. So yeah, just to reinforce how good a player he was, and I think he was only 19 when he came to Tasman, so 20 when he kicked his 100 goals. Just amazing. What about season 1992? We recruit well, but the team is placed 3rd on the ladder after losing to traditional rivals Waybacks in round 9. The team appears fractured and lacking direction. Midweek, the committee agrees to terminate the services of coach Wayne Clement, and he's replaced with Steve Fegert, who just at the time was having a kick and a catch in the A grade and doing quite well, kicking a lot of goals.
Yep.
He accepted the role, thankfully. You were part of the leadership group and deputy vice captain at the time. What are your recollections of these events that ultimately changed the fortunes of the club for the better?
Well, it was, yeah. I mean, Wayne came to the club, and we all had pretty high expectations of like his resume and stuff like that, and yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Things went off the rails a little bit, and you know, a few wayward things that he did and stuff like that, and just a few of his speeches up the club after the games and stuff like that were a bit strange, and yeah, I think then the board sort of stepped in a little bit and decided to let him go. So
yep.
I think, well, in hindsight, that's the best thing that could ever happen to us on that year, I think. And to have the side that we had, you know, we had Feegs come in and take over the coaching, but you know, that side was pretty, you know, there's some good talent in that side. So
yeah.
Just everyone sort of knew what they needed to do anyway. Mind you, we still only were 4th so at the time. So, but you know, it's everyone after that sort of, you know, gelled together pretty well, and just got stronger as the year went on. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Right. I think you'll like this one. On August the 15th, 1992 versus Waybacks, and after more than 100 games in the red and white jumper, you managed to kick your first A-grade goal for Tasmans. You remember that, Ronnie?
100 games. Oof.
I might have celebrated too much. I don't remember too much about that one.
Otherwise you weren't there.
That's right.
No, well played. The grand final in 1992 against Mallee Park was a great day for the club, obviously.
Yeah.
A fast start and a lead of 69 points early in the second term. Then, as expected, the fight back by the Packers that saw them get to within 3 points midway through the last term.
Yeah.
Before Tony Lewis sealed the win with 2 late goals. What are your thoughts about this day? And did you think that when Mallee Park threatened in the last quarter, sort of like, oh no, here we go again?
Yeah. It was, I mean, we all knew that they had a 10-goal quarter.
Yeah.
And we'd had ours in the first quarter. And we just had to hold them off, sort of thing. And you know, when you know, they started coming at us, and you know, it was sort of a tussle in the midfield and stuff like that, and then they'd get another one, and then in the midfield, and then slowly they'd get another one, and you didn't realise.
It's not like we stopped, is it?
They just snuck up on us, you know. You know, we had a couple. I think Feegs went off there.
Yep.
During the game, he was pretty crook as well.
Well, you see in his interview that he's done with Derek that he admitted that he was just off his game, and he was contemplated going off at quarter time even, but didn't play much the second half.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you went off as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I got an elbow to the head.
Yeah.
Went to the hospital and got stitched up and come back, and I couldn't believe it, because when I left the ground, I think we were 10 goals to 1 at that stage. So I got out of the hospital and thought, I'll just come back, you know, watch the rest of the game, be nice, you know, like, got back, and we were still 7 goals up at half time when I got back, and the change room seemed to be a little bit downcast.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, oh, hang on, and perhaps we all knew that yes, Mallee Park have got that comeback, the ability to come back, and so it was a good win in the end to get over that.
I think, and it's a funny story. A guy, a good mate of mine, he's passed away now, Jamo, and Ali was sitting in the crowd, and halfway through that last one, it looks like we're going to get run over.
They couldn't watch, could they?
And they had to go. They all went into the change rooms. They said, we can't watch this. It's going to happen again. And then all of a sudden, the big roar comes out, and Lewis marked that ball, and down the theatre end there. And,
they come again.
And puts it, and then they come running out. They're the sort of memories you like on those sort of days, because everyone knows what we've been through.
Yeah.
Before that. The 3 chances we had, and then to finally get it.
And the first premiership in 15 years, since 1977, and the one guy I felt for, through all the, like the win and the celebrations and all that, there's one guy I was thinking at the time, that was Stephen Lewis, who come to Tasmans in 1978, retired in 1991. So he played all those years and bookended by 2 premierships, but
handballs backwards. Mallee Park go forward. Lewis is in front and takes a good mark. Lewis takes the mark on the 50-yard mark, and he gets a 50-metre penalty.
But how great was Tony Lewis?
Oh, yeah. No, he was
great.
Yeah. He's
good guy.
just
He
a
really
genuine.
rose to the moment. I mean, wow, fantastic.
Yeah.
Now he goes round his player. There he goes. He goes for a long spiral kick. Through comes. That was a good call from David Wright, and he's taken the mark. He's gone for a short pass to Bramford, and Bramford's taken a good mark right on the centre wing. He's been told to kick it in long. He kicks it in long, looking for Miller. Miller goes up high, and it's a good mark to Miller. Miller's taken the mark, and he's 70 yards from goal, but he's taken plenty of time. Tasmans are holding this 9-point lead, and they've gone nearly 5 minutes in the time on now. Oh, it's a high wobbly kick, comes down. Lewis gets under it, and Lewis has marked the ball. This is a very vital kick once again for Lewis. We've had 6 goals kicked this quarter. We've had over 5 minutes of time on already. Very vital kick. Lewis is lining up, left foot, kicks it long, kicks it high, and he has kicked it. Tasmans now go to a 15-point lead.
Yeah. He's another one of those Michael Miller sort of guys. So,
yeah, pretty casual.
Very casual, very laid back.
Yeah.
But yeah, he kicked some goals in his time as well. So.
Oh yeah.
But,
Yep. 1993, and the good times appear to be over. Tasmans finished bottom for the first time in a decade, winning just 1 game for the year against Lincoln South. I must say, however, it was a great social year. I don't think there was a weekend or a Saturday night that the Premiership Cup didn't make an appearance. And we had a good team. Social side, yes, the performances weren't there on the field, but we certainly celebrated that 92 Premiership win for a long time.
How many players actually left from 92?
There's a few left, and there was also a couple of injuries, I think, that we sustained too throughout the year. So it didn't help our cause, but yeah, certainly it was a bit of a downward spiral from there for a lot of years.
Well,
I remember
Premiership hangover. I would have called it for a few years, I reckon.
So, yeah, let's talk about your 200th game, April 15th, 2000 versus Marble Range. Can you recall that day at all, Ronnie? I mean, I've got a newspaper clipping, but I don't know much else. So,
yeah, it wasn't a good day. But I mean, it's always,
it's a good milestone.
The milestones, are there, and I don't know, makes you feel old, doesn't it, really?
Well, imagine how old would he feel?
A lot more than me, but...
this guy plays 300 next year.
Yeah. No, I mean, as an individual thing, it's who you got around you that, you know, makes it all the better.
Yeah.
For those sort of things. So that's and you don't sort of get it a lot these days because you have a lot of players that swap clubs and go in here and chasing stuff and want to do this, want to do that, and but to, you know, do that, you know, get those sort of numbers, and Matty's got some good numbers as well. Like to stay at one club.
One club player.
Yeah. I mean that. You know, that's also a big tick in that as well. You know,
it feels better in your heart that you've done it.
Yeah.
In the long run.
Yep.
Who were the great players that you remember from that era, MJ?
Oh, obviously, yeah, Ronnie. Like, you know, that was a huge one. But I think, like, when I first started, Butch Pedler, he was still just finishing, and like that, he was pretty huge too. He was a coach, I think, like first year, I reckon. And then so there's a number of them, like Toby Cardew. He was one that I sort of really looked up to as a youngster. But there's...
Yeah, well, Toby was very unlucky to miss out on the 92 premiership team. He was probably, you know, we had 20 players back then, so he's probably 21st. So it was a bit sad for him, but he went on to have a great career for both Tasmans and he played at other clubs, obviously. So
yeah.
Johnny Hart, you mentioned earlier. Anything else to say about Johnny Hart?
Johnny Hart.
Johnny Hart.
There's a character in there. Yeah, had his own bar stool in the corner. Hard man.
Yep.
Yeah, loved his footy. Didn't mind a bit of push and shove.
Well, I remember that big brawl out at Stanford one day when...
on the balcony.
Is that when Butch Pedler got cleaned up?
No, when it started with Johnny Hart suggesting to a lady who was screaming a lot of abuse from...
They were playing Lincoln South.
Lincoln South, yeah, and she was having a fair bit to say, and Johnny Hart said, "Oh, shut up, you're old."
Told her where to
bitch," or
go.
something like that.
Yeah. Told her where to go.
Yes, and then it was on, like there was people running from all over the place and fighting their way up the steps and jumping out of the windows onto the balcony there. And Johnny Hart, I remember he had these big scratches down his bald head.
I think the game might have momentarily stopped.
I think it did, because that was a big one.
Yeah. So. Well, that's a good segue into next question there, Ronnie. You play across half-back for nearly all of your career and play alongside some of the best defenders of the 80s and 90s, to be honest. Players like Stephen Frenchie Lewis, Johnny Hart, Steve Oswald, Still Seaman, Brian Fourier, Sam Inglehart, Andy Robot Smith and Phil Stanley.
Yeah.
You must have walked a little taller knowing that, you know, playing alongside those guys, and they got your back all the time.
Well, and you know, it was... I don't know how you can sort of explain it. You know, the communication between all of us, you know, at certain times was that good that, you know, you could go for a run.
Yep.
But then you got told off straight away. You know, get your ass back here. You know, don't keep going, sort of thing. Everyone knew where you had to be, and.
Well, the fullback telling the guy, you've gone up to the wing or whatever.
Yeah.
So the back pocket pushes up, takes your man, whatever. So you had that connection.
Yeah. So, and you know, and in the back lines you get a good view of the whole ground, sort of thing. So if someone sort of had to go up to the wing and pick someone else up, you know, you'd push yourself over and grab his player as well, leave someone deep in the forward line. And it was just good chatter, and everyone understood where they were and what they needed to do. And well, I mean, geez, you learnt so much from those guys. It was
a favourite?
Incredible. Yeah.
A favourite of any of those group? Or?
No, not. I'd hate to pick out one, because that would do injustice to all the others.
What about the playing surface at Stanford? Or lack thereof.
Lack thereof. Or after they had the rodeo.
Well, I don't think it's used anymore.
It's not. We went out there. It was terrible oval. It didn't last very long. Yeah.
Everyone hated it except us. It was a sand pit. You know, it was terrible ground, really.
That was.
Well, I remember there was a few stones in it and a lot of sand.
And there was a fairly good slope on that oval too.
Yeah.
Massive slope.
Yeah.
But everyone hated coming out there, which were obviously, well, you guys were used to it, and it was probably an advantage, if anything.
Yeah. I didn't. I mean, you go there and then you go to Pool Oval, which is, I mean, you could, you know, the size differences are just incredible. You know, and you got to play a different style of football.
Yep.
You know, I remember one game we played Mallee Park out at Stanford, and I think we kicked 28 goals and they kicked 32 or something.
That's right.
Yeah. So, you know, you can kick goals out there. I mean, you know, we just couldn't believe we didn't win. You know, you kick 28 goals in a game, and
well, it's only Mallee Park could have done.
Well, I think I had 3 instances of that in my time down there, and yeah, we kicked 20. That game you did your knee, we kicked 22 goals and lost. And there's a couple of that game you mentioned out where we kicked 28 and lost. Another time I'm driving on the Sunday. There's a Sunday game, a lot of Sunday games down there, and I'm driving past Pool Oval, and the scoreboard's a little bit obscured. So you got the home team, you can see their score, and I think Boston's had 5 goals. I'm thinking, geez, that's a good win against Mallee Park. Only trouble is, you know, you couldn't see the bottom, but Mallee had about 40 goals.
Yeah.
Just incredible, all offence, and they didn't care how many goals.
Well, they didn't. They just, yeah. They thought, oh well, if they kick 20, we'll kick 25.
Goes up and bounces it. Miller goes high, picked up by Mallee Parks, cleared away to Joey Burgoyne. Joey Burgoyne kicks it long. It's kicked on well. This time picked up by Lincoln Dudley. Lincoln Dudley turns around and he makes no mistake and kicks the goal.
Easy. Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah. Yeah.
As mentioned before, you went on to play over 200 games for the Roosters, and after you retired you took on various roles including assistant coach before being appointed the senior coach in 2008. Tell us a little about your time as coach, after of course being involved with the club for, you know, a good period of time, 30 years probably, and taking on the coaching role. Yeah,
well that was different. When I took over I had Matty in my right hand pocket then as well, which was good. I mean, we'd played a bit of footy together as well, which sort of helps. And in the first year we had some handy footballers through there, and
treated pretty well.
Yeah, but coaching's a completely
different beast.
You got to take a step back, and you got to be a little bit. I don't know how you would say, choose your words, I suppose.
Yeah.
About how you talk to your players and stuff like that, and trying to get a bit more out of them and stuff like that, and try to build them up a little bit. And whereas, you know, you just can't blurt it out like, you know, you sit in the back lines and get back here, you idiot, sort of thing. You know, you got to be diplomatic about the whole thing.
Yes.
And then, you know, you also got to put up with the criticism of. Which comes after the game from everyone else as well, you know.
They can all do it better, and should have done this and should have done that.
You know, that was something I'd never had experienced before. What'd
you say to him? Righto.
Well, I probably won't go into it.
Probably, Ronnie, you just said, yeah, righto.
You said good point. No worries, I'm going to...
Good point, righto.
Yeah. Well, there was a couple of guys I didn't mind, like Bob Millick. I used to...
take on board.
I used to sit down, have a beer with him, and he used to say, oh, you know, why'd you do this? And we'd have a chat, and I said, this is why I did that. And he says, oh, yeah, no. And then he would say, oh, well, you know, maybe throw this into the mix, or, you know. Yeah. Some guys had some really good constructive
some good feedback,
things, you know, which helped because I wasn't one to actually go and address a crowd and talk to people, and it sort of had to learn that.
It didn't come natural.
Yeah, no, it was something that the first couple of games I was, didn't say much at all. When you know, quarter time, half time, I was sort of struggling to get your head around it. But as you sort of build into it, sort of thing, and you get going, it sort of, I wouldn't say comes natural, but it's a little bit better the way you come forward and talk to people, sort of thing. So can't be just blunt about everything.
No. Can't always say it as you think it is, but
it was a bit like that Cohen Cutter style of coaching. Righto, boys. The legend gets something, you better play a bit better. Righto.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. And-
Ronnie, yeah, go on.
Oh, sorry. And you know, there's also different personalities in the team that you got to deal with as well.
Yeah.
Some guys can handle a bit of criticism. Some guys just
You got to
fall apart.
massage their egos. Others they
Yeah.
like to have they like to be revved up and told that, you know, lift your game, and they
Yeah. So you know, there's a whole range of things that you got to go through just to please the mob sort of thing.
That's it. Ronnie, what would be the highlight for you? You know, was it the '92 premiership, playing your 200th game, coaching the league side, receiving life membership, or simply just being involved with a great club?
I think that the whole thing was a Tasman Footy Club.
Yep.
You know, just to be part of that, my whole footy career was something I was proud of. The people, the friendships there, you know, lifelong, you know, memories and stuff like that. Just, you know, some of the things that you get up to, and you know, not only on the field but off the field, and you know, it's just a big family.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing about the Tasman Footy Club is, you know, we just all got on so well together, and you know, it was just like a big family. Sundays at Gardy's, bloody, you know, you're out the Pines, or you know, you're, you know, Sunday morning up having a salt bath and drinking beer afterwards, which is probably not what you're supposed to do. But anyway.
Well, you mentioned Gardner. What a great club person he was, and I know when I was there, he would get the country lads come around for a roast on the Monday night,
Yeah.
and there would be up to half a dozen of us sitting down with the gardeners.
Yeah.
He's carving up the roast and making sure we're feeling comfortable at our new club, and it's just fantastic.
Yeah.
Tuna steaks, I remember.
Yeah, and
Sorry, go on.
the best, you know, that was with all of the people that you ran into there. You know, they couldn't do enough for you, sort of thing. You know, and it does help when you're this tall and you grew up with all these people, and you know, the Richardsons, and you know,
great
fair bit
club names.
Yeah, so it's just a wonderful time, and I'd say to get 200 games is a good achievement for any footballer, I think, or any sport that you're doing, because it takes its toll. Your body doesn't hang in as good as what it used to, and
How was it
stuff like
these
that.
days?
Oh, I've had a knee replacement.
Right.
Yeah, I had that last year. So, but that was, well, it was sort of a bit of footy, but I mainly did it as a working incident. So, but that's what ended my career.
It does take a toll though, footy. Yeah. Then your fingers and all that.
Yeah, but I mean, the mind's pretty good. You could go and play tomorrow, but the body just lets you down. So, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, footy season comes along and you're dreaming about footy and stuff like that, and you know, you've been retired for 20 years. And, you know, you think, oh, you know, get a kick, carry on and stuff like that. You know, it's pretty funny the way that works. But it's a good lifestyle, and it's rewarding.
Ronnie,
some people don't.
Thanks for having a chat with us. Yeah. You're a true legend of the Tasman Football Club.
Mate. Yeah, awesome.
Bloody legend. Let me shake your hand as well. Good on you.
Thank you.
You coached this fella too.
Good work. Yeah, I did. Yeah. No, I got a lot of respect for this guy.
Who wants a beer?
He's about the same as me. He grew up in the club, slept under the tables.
Yeah. All these 92, all the 92 and all that. Those years I was 10, 11 and 12, and just always at the club Wednesdays. That was, you know.
Yes, I've still got memories of a young MJ and like a Boyd McCurry maybe, about this high.
You had more hair then?
Yeah, a lot of hair.
Well, we all did.